It is Monday. It is 1 o'clock. It is time for the Monday message. We have got some crazy momentum. I was talking with Holly this morning about the numbers. The amount of people reporting their activity now on Discord is going up. The volume period is going up. Our growth outside of all current legs is going up. We've got people inside the organization that are on this last month, best month. In other words, we're measuring ourselves. We're looking at volume. We're looking at recruits. We're looking at the number of people writing business, the number of people recruiting, and we're looking inside of groups. And our mantra is last month, best month. In other words, last month will be my best month ever, and we're going to keep doing that. And it's happening. It's happening. I'm telling you, I'm seeing new people come out the gate. We are smoking here in the base shop. Omar can maybe update us, but I want to say we are. He just texted me. I texted him about 8 for 8. All right. The last 8 people that we have recruited direct and got dialing have written business. 8 for 8. And we just had a new agent, Jennifer, write her first couple of apps, got another one coming. I mean, I'm just telling you, if you were ever going to find that extra gear, now's that time. Now's that time. When we have momentum, when an organization has momentum, the return on energy, emotion, effort, and time and investment is greater, 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 greater. Momentum is magic. And I am so fired about all the momentum I see in the organization. Well, let's get right into our numbers for the week that was. And we've got several other pieces of information we want to share through the slideshow. Let's go here. We go back one slide, I think. There we are. See, more people are submitting their numbers through Discord. I love it. Keep that going. Keep that going. We'll start with all producers over 1,000. Again, we have more than this. We just don't have all that data. We are starting to get better data now through the ARC, so it is going to get better. But in the meantime, just keep submitting through the through the Discord. That way, we know what you're doing. We want to throw as much recognition your way as possible. So we got Jeremy Sherrick, we got Matthew Helgeson, we got Allison. I'm sorry, David Helgeson. Sorry, number 15 there. Stephanie Barrett. Dan Hoyt there, Danita Crowder, Sabrina Floyd, Mike Guerra, Aaron Wilson. Aaron mentioned that she has got well, I won't say, she's got a big annuity cooking. I'm excited for her. Josh Owens, Rogers and Kemp Straughter, Brandy Blankenship, here in the office recruiting and writing business. I love it. Matthew Albrechtson from Salt Lake City, David Fleming, Mallory Barnes, Adam and Cindy Burrs. Let's look at top 5 submit producers last week. And if you're not on here and you wrote more business than that, we just need you to submit it through the Discord, because that is the most accurate way to get your numbers up here and have them correct. We got Ryan and Amma, the new couple. I believe that's part of Sabrina Floyd's organization out of Kansas City, coming on strong, recruiting, writing business. Andre Lee out of Raleigh, North Carolina, part of Garra's organization. Look at Mercedes. Way to go, Mercedes. 11 apps, 7,300. I popped in 6 apps last week, and leading the way, Jeremico Edwards, 14 applications for 10,982. Jeremico, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you too, Mercedes, and I'm going to challenge me. Let's start posting more of our victories on Discord. You know what I'm saying? Like that posting those victories, it gives encouragement. It helps people dig deeper, and I'll get in the fight with you there. All right, let's go. Top 5 paychecks last week. Mike Guerra deposited in $3,424 last week alone. Fleming, big paycheck, $3,965.45. Look at Nick Greco's paycheck, $4,739.29 deposited last week. Jeremico Edwards deposited last week $6,810.47. And he's telling me he's brought on 2 new sharp people in WIT that are about to wreck the leaderboards. They're about to post some crazy numbers. So exciting stuff going on in your world. Mark Hutchison, number 1 paycheck last week, $13,632.88. Recruiting last week. Let's see. We got Jillian, we got Sean, we got Jeremy, we got Nathaniel, all with 1 direct fast track last week. Adam and Cindy Burge with 2 direct fast tracks. And the base shop leading the way with 3 direct fast tracks last week. Look at the contracts. Jillian, Sean, Jeremy, Nathaniel, Dory and Reggie Powell with a direct recruit last week, contracted. Base shop contracted 3 new agents ready to write business and get rolling. Cabo. I said we were going to start doing a Cabo leaderboard. So right now we look at the top 20 for Cabo. Leading the way, you got the new couple there, Rama and Ryan and Alma. We got Josh Owens, Jeremy, David, Matt Albrechtson, Michaela, Barrett, Jonathan, Cynthia, the Martins in Dallas, and Tracy. Look at all these, and again, that $1,000 bonus credit is juicing up people's production by being at the events. Be at a view from the edge, and you will get another bonus credit towards Cabo. Cabo is going to be an incredible trip. Holly and I have been to Cabo probably 12 or 13 or 14, maybe 15 times. We absolutely love Cabo. It is breathtaking. I cannot wait to be there with you. All right, next leaderboard. Oh, not a leaderboard, travel schedule. All right. February 26th, I will be doing a hotspot. Let's go back. There we go. February 26th, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia. They have actually moved that location. I just got an email. So go on theallianceevents.com for the new location. The new location is in College Park, closer to the airport. So we've got that new location. Dallas, Texas, February 27th. I will be out there. Same location. The February 28th, Salt Lake City. We are hammering down a location for that. We'll be somewhere near the airport. We are looking for Salt Lake City to become a sponsored Alliance hotspot where we're going to have 2 of them a month out there. So if you're looking for a place to recruit, that would be a great place to recruit. Me and Joe Dukes are serious about taking over all of Utah. We want you to come with us. March 9th, as we get into March, another date to be aware of, the boot camp here in Asheville. The link is on Discord. We'll blast it out again. I'm going to put it on the Alliance Facebook. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to get in-depth sales training. We are going to spend the day together. Then we're going to have a party together, and we're going to spend some time building relationships, building bonds. I'm telling you what, that last boot camp, we came out of it with people writing business like crazy, people going to another level. If you've already been to the boot camp, I would say come back again. Let's there's something, you're going to get retuned again. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be something else you pick up. So boot camp going to be incredible here, March 9th. Then I'm traveling. I will be Detroit, March 18, March 19, back in Salt Lake City, March 20th in Atlanta, Georgia, and March 21st in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Can't wait to get down there with Mercedes and the pals. View from the Edge, April 12th through the 14th. We need you there. I'm telling you, this will put you 12 months ahead of the learning curve. This will put you 12 months ahead of the learning curve. This will put you on a whole other plane as far as self-development goes. This event was just last year. Ask anybody that went. It was so incredibly powerful. You have all the crazy high-level self-development from Marcus Seta. Then on top of that, you're going to have training on the processes and the procedures in between. I'm just telling you, View from the Edge last year in Denver blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I cannot wait for this one. That's it. All right. So first thing before we get into the content, what the content is this. What I want to share with you is laws on connection. There's 7 quick laws I'm going to share with you, and these are laws like gravity. They're true. They're true all the time. There's no debate about it. Any psychologist will tell you this is the case. Here's the point. We want to take those laws and make sure we are checking those boxes with the people we're selling, checking those boxes with our new recruits, checking those boxes with our spouses, checking those boxes in all the relationships that matter. So that's what we're going to go over next. But we have a new product coming out. You're going to get an invitation to recruit or to a contract with a company called Citizens. They are a life insurance company, and they have a product that is very unique. And I'm not going to steal Omar's thunder. He's going to walk us through that. I told us, bro, you got to get us ready to sell this product because this is a niche that we don't have. So in selling final expense, right, on the far end, you've got guaranteed issue. Right? Those are for the folks that are dealing with a lot of challenges, serious challenges that are affecting their life expectancy. They don't qualify for any day one products. That's guaranteed issue. Then between that, you've got graded, where they can get a certain percentage of the death benefit. I know GTL has a product like that. American Amicable has a product like that. And then you have day one coverage. In between guaranteed issue and day one coverage, Citizens has a product that will issue day one coverage on folks no one else will. So if you've got someone that they just don't fit day one coverage with CVS, with Mutual of Omaha, with Transamerica, but you don't want to put them at graded. This is the product I need you to learn. I need you to get contracted with. Omar, talk to us. Give us the skinny on this new product.
Can do, will do. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm coming through. Can y'all hear me?
Can we hear him?
Am I coming through? Am I coming through? I'm unmuted on my end, so yeah. Can you hear me? Just let me know. Let me know when you're ready. I'm ready to go.
People can hear him. Is my camera still on?
Y'all hear me? We good? Okay. All right. I'm getting some text. Everybody can hear me, so I'm gonna let it rip. Yep, yep, yep. All right, I'm going. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm excited about this product, Citizens Life. Like Stephen was just describing, it does occupy a unique niche that we don't really have. So I'm excited about getting to the bottom of this. Now, they just sent out the emails last week. I think it was last Monday. So I got a follow-up email shortly afterwards that they're not going to fully launch it until the 22nd of this month. You can go ahead and contract with them now, but they just won't be able to pay out commissions till 22nd. So just keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, what I'm excited about, as Stephen was just laying out, they've only got two ratings, right? They've got standard, which is day one, and they've got guaranteed issue. And what's unique about the standard rating is they don't ask for things that almost everybody else does, right? So, for example, they don't ask height, weight. So that's somewhat common. We've seen that. They don't ask a tobacco question, right? We've seen that before too. So here's the kicker: they don't ask for a prescription check, and there's no MIB check. I'm not even sure how that works. That's what it has on their product guide right here. So if you're a new person, what that means for you is that you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to the underwriting portion. So as Stephen was laying out, there's some people that you probably have right now in graded or guaranteed products that might be able to circle back and get a standard rating. I mean, I've got their stuff pulled up right here: congestive heart failure, standard. What else? Dialysis, as long as it's being treated by a physician, standard. Just all kinds of things. The thing that stood out to me the most on this list was the organ transplant. Because if you guys are on the dial jam, you probably heard this, but Jeremy had a client maybe 3 weeks ago now who had a organ transplant 10 years ago. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had to go Corbridge guaranteed issue because that's all we could do until now. So looking at this product guide, if it's been longer than 5 years with Citizens for an organ transplant, they will rate that as standard. That's crazy. So Jeremy, like as soon as you can get contracted with them, I would do it because you can circle back to your guy, get him day one coverage, and at a cheaper price too. So that's a whole other thing. Because as I'm tearing through this product guide, I'm like, man, this is crazy, super lenient. It's very comparable to Transamerica when it comes to the underwriting. However, if you guys have written Transamerica, then you know they will also rate some of these as standard. But if you've got anything else going on, it's getting declined. If you got COPD and heart attack and decline, that's what happens. So it looks like we might have an opening here with Citizens, and I'll wrap up on this. So they don't have a tobacco question, right? So I was doing some comparisons between Transamerica, CVS. So they beat Transamerica's preferred price if they're a smoker. So if you have a healthy client that's smoking and they can get day one coverage preferred, Citizens beat Transamerica's price by almost $20. So you've got a preferred client over here and a standard client over here at Citizens, $20 cheaper if they're a smoker. Same with CVS, very comparable. So if you got people who are smoking and they're fairly healthy, this is the carrier you want to write. So I'm excited to see what's going to come down the pipeline, but this is definitely something. If you're writing a lot of final expenses, you need to have this in your quiver. You need to have this in your tool belt. Get to know Citizens, and again, on the 22nd, that's going to go live. So look out. There might be another follow-up email, or they might just pop up on the ARC, but just write that date down and get contracted with them. You can do that today. The emails didn't go to everybody, but for those that got it from Pam, get contracted today. And on the 22nd, we want to start writing them.
I'm so excited about that, bro. Like well, I mean, I was gonna tell you a story about when I found out about it in the office, but you were there, so you know the story. I was like, this can't be right. I'm calling Gina Hawks. And I called Gina, and Gina's like, no, for real, like for real, for real. And so that giant chasm between guaranteed issue and day one preferred coverage, this fills a big void that will help people. It's going to give people a better product than guaranteed issue. And just some of those comparisons Omar ran, because they don't ask a tobacco question, because they don't do a script check, because they don't do MIB. I'm just telling you, any of those declines you get pop up, oh, they had a prescription for this, so we're declining it. Go right to Citizens. We don't have to go to guaranteed issue with those folks now. Now, you from what Gina told me, you can write it. They just can't pay us till the 22nd, because the data stream is not connected to where they can give us the data to pay us, to do the payout. You'll get paid on all of it eventually, but it'll be after the 22nd. Get yourself contracted. Big stuff. All right. After this call, I do a quick huddle up with my base shop leaders, and then we've got 2 o'clock. We got the dial jam going. We got the link. We're going to be on Zoom, and then we're going to dial from 2 to 4. And then at 4 o'clock, I'll be live here at the office in the back conference room doing training with anybody that is in the dial jam. Stay over the dial jam. If you got to run, no big deal. But after that, 4 to 5. I'll be there live on the Dial Jam train, doing on the Dial Jam link, doing training, helping, tell me what your problems are, tell me what your questions are, tell me, we'll get them all fixed. This is a new fixture every week after the Dial Jam on Mondays. If I'm in town, I will be there 4 to 5 live training. All right. So here's what I want to talk about: the laws of connection. When we are connected, we are so much more effective. There's a direct link between connectedness and effectiveness. When we are connected to the people in our life, we are way more effective than when we're not connected. When we're connected with our clients, we're way more effective. We're going to close a higher percentage of those people. When we are recruiting and we are connected with the people we're recruiting, we're going to recruit a much higher percentage. When we are trying to motivate people and push them and move them out of their comfort zones, when we are connected, we are way more effective. So, what are those 7 laws? First one is listen actively. Law number 1, listen actively. You will miss sales if you are not focused 100% on what it is you're doing. And this is true in person. It's even truer if you're trying to sell over the phone. If you're trying to sell over the phone and you're also checking email, or, dear God, hopefully not, scrolling mindlessly through other people's social media to see what people are up to. Please tell me you're not doing that. That's a waste of time. Or sending texts and we're trying to talk. We're not connected. In fact, just me doing that, my brain's like, and I wasn't even doing anything. I was pretending. So we have to listen actively. Here's why. If you listen actively, people will tell you how to close them. People will tell you exactly how to close them if you listen, if you and I listen actively. And that's whether we're trying to close a recruit or close a sale or motivate or move someone. We've got to listen actively. The human habit of thinking about what I'm going to say next while you are talking is the biggest destroyer of effectiveness when it comes to connection and getting stuff done. Thinking about what I'm going to say in response instead of actively listening. Here's what active listening takes. It takes trust in the fact that it works, right? You and I will listen actively more if we trust in the fact that it works. That's why I said these things are true all the time. They're like gravity. If you listen actively, they will tell you exactly how to close them. But you got to listen actively or you'll miss it. I've got to listen actively when I'm trying to close a sale. I've got to listen actively when I'm trying to get a recruit moving. Active listening is one of those skills that is a chosen skill. Meaning there are some things that you and I just do naturally better. They're just God-given talents, right? Some people can jump higher than others. Some people can run faster than others. Their genetics puts them in a situation where they've got a unique skill at this sport. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is a chosen skill. In other words, it's a skill that we choose, and then we choose to do it at a high level. Active listening, the number one law of connection. If we don't do it, we are less effective. And we are way, way, way less effective the worse we are at it. In other words, it is a sliding scale, but it's not a direct correlation scale. It's like an inverted, like an inverted hockey stick. We are the effectiveness we lose with each degree of not actively listening. It's insane. It's insane how bad it can make us. Active listening also requires the confidence to sit in silence, right? When people are thinking about what they're going to say when you are speaking, it is a manifestation of the insecurities that they've got. In other words, they're so riddled with insecurities, they can't stomach the thought of a silent pause. They can't stomach the thought, so they've got to think about what they're going to say next. Because if I don't, then I won't know what to say next. And then if I don't do that, then when you stop talking, I won't know exactly what I'm going to say. And if I don't know what to say, there's going to be silence. Right? Nope. You and I, we're going to choose to do this skill at a high level. We're going to choose to be active listeners, and we're going to choose to do it at a high level. All right. Law number 2, the law of empathy. When we listen actively, it makes empathy easier. Empathy is one of those rare, rare, rare skills that allows you to be more effective. People that lack empathy are not as effective. You can't, there's no third way around it. The higher our levels of empathy and our skill, using empathy as a skill, the higher the level of effectiveness. Think about effective parenting. Effective parenting starts with empathy. Effective leading starts with empathy. Being an effective change agent in someone's life, which, by the way, is what we're doing when we are selling, when we are recruiting, we are seeking to be an agent of change in their life, requires empathy. It's taking the time to try and understand the perspective of others. I'm going to give you a law on empathy. And I'm telling you, the first time that I got this in my mind and heart, it changed everything for me from an empathy scale, on an empathy scale. Here's what it is. Everybody's doing the best they know how with the information they've come to accept. Meaning that client that you're just scratching your head, it's like they can't afford a $50 a month life insurance policy, but they smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That makes zero sense. You love your family, but you won't give that up to lengthen your life and be able to buy life insurance. Makes no sense. To them, they're behaving the best way they know how based on the information they've come to accept. Even extremely dysfunctional people, they're behaving the best way they know how based on the information they've come to accept. Once you and I accept that as a fact, it makes empathy easier. When you have empathy in your interactions with others, it makes them feel safe. Safe people trust. People can't trust if they don't feel safe. That's the chain. They feel empathy from you, they feel safe, trust comes to the plate. If they don't feel safe because they don't feel empathy, there won't be any trust. Trust might be one of those magic tricks that we just never will completely understand how magical it is, how magical it is. The magic that when trust happens, when trust is present, how fast it makes everything. I don't think we'll ever completely understand how magical that is, but realize that is a direct product of empathy. All right, number 3, communicate clearly. The biggest mistake you and I can make in communication is to assume that it happened. Clear communication takes direct, focused effort. Think about what we teach on sales, right? When I teach the difference between a high-performing salespeople or salesperson and a low-performing salesperson, low-performing salesperson uses what? More words, way more words than a high-performing salesperson. The more words you add, the less clarity you gain. And I teach this all the time from the perspective of famous speeches, right? I have a dream. Gettysburg Address. Sermon on the Mount. You can name any famous speech that's been recorded. They're way shorter than you think they were. There's way less word count than you would think would be necessary. That's like when people like who was asking me? Oh, the first time that was the first time Brandon Manley had to talk. Just give me advice. I'm like, this less words, slower pace. You'll prepare way more content than you think you need. The more words we use, the less clear the message. The faster the pace we talk, the less clear the message. Clear communication is an art. So, what makes a masterpiece? A masterpiece isn't made by adding words. A masterpiece is made by removing words. When you continue to remove words, that's how you create a masterpiece of communication. What words are not necessary? We talked about this in our staff meeting. Don't bury the lead, right? Don't bury the lead. We're reading this really fantastic book about that stuff. And it's just like when you see how extra words just screw stuff up, clearly communicate. Here's the other thing. Don't pussyfoot around about negative things, meaning the client is sick. Don't pussyfoot around about that. Be like, hey, so here's the situation with the challenges y'all are facing with the health, with this, the fact that you have COPD and there's a history of a heart attack. Our options are going to be very few. Being clear in those moments, I'm telling you, that is the difference between high performing salespeople and low performing salespeople. Be crystal clear. When you're recruiting, low performing recruiters, people that can get people in the business but can't get them to do anything, it's because they don't tell the truth when they're recruiting. They don't tell the truth. And you say, well, don't tell the truth. I mean, you got to be positive, tell them all the positive aspects. Yeah, but tell them the truth. When I'm recruiting someone, I'm crystal clear. I was talking to a depth recruiting, and he was saying, well, it just, the leads just sound too good to be true. I was like, well, bro, be clear. If you're thinking that based on what I'm saying, either one of two things is either I'm failing or failing to communicate properly, or you're failing to think about how hard of work this is going to be. It's going to be hard work. Like, be clear in that. If you make it sound like basically you can just come here and everything will always happen and you'll that no that you're going to lose connection. People lose connection with person when the feel changes. So communicate clearly. All right. Number 4, we got to keep going here. Run out of time. The law of vulnerability, being real in the conversation. People feel real. You can't be real if you're not vulnerable. The thing you hear me talk a lot about, difference between high performers and low performers. Low performers are obsessed with the appearance, whereas high performers are obsessed with the actuality. Meaning low performers are not vulnerable because they're trying too hard to look perfect. And I'm perfect and I'm always perfect and I never screw up and I do everything the best way all the time. Low performers are obsessed with appearance. High performers are more focused on actuality, meaning, yeah, are we going to have some warts on the way to excellent? You better believe it. But vulnerable people have strong levels of connection. It's the same thing in a relationship. If you've been in a relationship where both y'all are trying to pretend to be perfect, it's going to be a relationship with very low levels of connection. All right, let's keep going. Common ground. You hear me talk about this all the time. It's one of my 3 C's. Anybody in this world you can find common ground with. If you can't, it is a symptom that you have become rigid and narrow-minded and therefore will not be a high performer. If you and I walk through a day and we just can't seem to find common ground with anybody, it's a symptom that we need to be more mentally flexible. How do you get more mentally flexible? See the second law on empathy. See the first law on active listening. Read stuff that makes you think. You don't want to be one of these people that through life becomes more rigid, more narrow-minded. I'm just telling you, find common. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything. But by God, you can find common ground with just about anybody. If you can't find that common ground, you have nowhere to go back to reason from, to move from. Once you have common ground, it becomes easier to take that concreteness and expand it. All right. Number 6, be authentic. Don't be a fake, phony salesperson. You hear me train on this all the time. The me that is selling a policy is the same me that you would have seen yesterday hanging out around my smoker, smoking some pork, drinking a margarita, just being authentic. When we go into sales mode, sometimes we clam up and we get weird. When we go into recruiting mode, we clam up and we get weird. We try and act like a manager or a boss and speak how a manager or a boss would, or speak how a recruiter would. Just be you. People like you. Be real. I'm always mystified when I do a hot spot and I meet someone and then I find out they're struggling to sell or struggling to recruit. I'm like, that person was awesome. What's the word? Why would anybody not want to buy a policy from that person? Why would anybody not want to sell, some work for that, go join their team? It's because the authenticity leaves. Be authentic. And by the way, if you work around your spouse or your significant other, give them the freedom, unlimited amount of times to call you out when you're being not authentic. Because they know. They know. All right. Last, cultivate trust. Cultivate trust. All these things build into the seventh law. We are connected with people we trust. If we listen actively to people, they will trust us. If we show them empathy, they will trust us. If we communicate clearly and we don't pussyfoot around about the facts, people will trust us. If we're vulnerable and real, people will trust us. If we work to find common ground, people will trust us. Those are the 7 laws of connection. The higher the degree at which each of those that we're achieving each of those, the faster we're going to be able to move, the more we're going to be able to get done. Guys, right now we got a crazy, crazy, crazy amount of momentum. I want you to get the most out of it. Holly and I want 2024 to be the best year in the history of your family. So we need you to jump in this momentum with us. Let's make more dials than we've ever made before. Let's call that person that we haven't called about the business yet because we've maybe been a little intimidated or scared to talk to them about it. Let's invest in getting more recruits. Let's invest in getting more people to view from the edge. Now's the time to do those things because we got momentum. And when you got momentum, I'm just telling you, the ROI is so much better for you and I. Let's get out. Let's get after it.